broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. Thank you for joining us on episode 82 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with Trevor and Damon. We're happy to talk to you again, Trevor. I know you've been taking a little vacay from the podcast for a couple weeks, so we're happy to have you back.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, just, strange how busy life is when everything's shut down. But yeah, I'm back now.
Yeah, no, we're happy to have you back. We missed you. We and I know the listeners probably did too. So I'm sure you've heard a couple things. I think I've seen some things on the Facebook of like, when's Trevor coming back? So and I had to deal with Damon without you, Trevor, which is
whoa, hold on a second. We had Ziggy, and he was good.
That's true. That's a fair point. So
it wasn't like you were solo, Damon. So.
I didn't even introduce you yet, Chad. Now you're just talking. Man. So we have Chad here from My DVC Points. If you listened to our show before, you've probably heard from Chad before. Chad's been on our show a bunch of times. We share a lot of listeners between our show and his show, My DVC Points. So welcome, Chad. Thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me back, guys. Looking forward to being here.
Yeah, it's been a while, right? So. And we're going to talk a little bit about your app, your DVC app, which you were nice enough to include us on. So we appreciate that. And we'll talk about that in a few here. Do you just quickly, for those, new listeners, maybe just want to introduce yourself and your show a little bit, just to give everybody a heads up of who you are and what your podcast is all about?
Oh, sure. My name is Chad, and I host conversations in the DVC community. It's not necessarily about news and rumors. It's more about member opinions. And so it's like, what do members think about this? What's your DVC story? And it's all member focused because I look at it like this. I bought into DVC knowing that it's going to be an awesome product and whatever Disney does next is going to be great. But I'm going to determine what I do next based on what you guys have done. So if you'll share your stories with me, I'll figure out what's cool and what'll resonate with my values, and I'll determine what I'm going to do next. And that's kind of the whole basis of the podcast.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I've been on the show. You had me on one of your first, 10 episodes? I think it was like number 7 or something. So,
yeah, it was up there. It was up there. And I keep trying to get Damon and Trevor scheduled as well. So they've got an open invite.
Damon now has a new podcast. Right now I'm allowed to talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
So I started a new podcast. So now I'm like busy on busy. And, considering that I go to bed so early, I'm going to tell everybody, though, since... again, my wife's in quarantine for a few weeks, so I've actually been up to like 11. I had friends of mine that actually reached out to me, and they're like, "You're still up?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm still up. It's 11 o'clock." But anyway, that all being said, I have a new podcast. It's called Boomtron Podcast. That's kind of after our original website that we had, and it's a podcast about Netflix original shows. So movies. Gosh, I don't think we've actually done any movies yet, but more of series. So I know for the last one, we kind of covered 3 shows, and our new upcoming feature is going to be actually talking with some of the cast from the shows. I don't know if that's going to be something that we do live via sound bites or something that we do via, some sort of email answers that we read on air. But if everyone could go out and listen and actually give me some feedback, we are only going to be in our 2nd episode, and I'm actually looking for feedback, and you can always reach me at, what's a good one? Damon at bsckids.com. You can always send me an email. I'll have an email for the podcast at some point. But anyway, thank you for giving me
Tiger King and Damon in one podcast.
I didn't do Tiger King. I didn't even finish it. No.
Yeah, he hasn't done that one yet. Which ones? What shows have you reviewed already, though?
So what we're actually going to be covering, because it's going to come out the same day. So we're doing the season 2 of The Hollow, which was phenomenal. The Flower Fight, the Big Flower Fight, the Great Flower Fight, whatever it is, the Flower Fight show.
Is that like the British Bake Off with flowers?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, that one. And then we're covering also kind of talking about what we want to expect in season 2 of Kipo and the Age of the Wonder Beast. And I think there was one more show. It was a Spanish show that my co-host was talking about as well. So currently we have 2 people, but I think we're actually going to end up with maybe 3 or 4. We're going to have 2 other people that are going to kind of rotate in and out regularly. And there may be sometimes like this show where hopefully there's all 3 of us, or there'll be all 4 of us there. And then sometimes it'll just be 3 or 2 of us. But, again, something new. So any feedback is always appreciated. If you don't like something, that's kind of what we're looking for. But what I found is that this show has been super helpful in, getting me a little bit more prepared for a podcast. And gosh, Tom does a lot of work. A lot of work I don't want to do. A lot of work.
Oh, man, that feels so good to hear. I feel very validated.
Doesn't it, though?
Right
Because, it's a ton of work putting these things on.
it is.
It really is. I just want to get on and talk, right? That's what I do here, and that's what I want to do there, and that's what I do there. So that works out well for me.
Well, because what you were doing before is you just were talking, and then magically it made its way onto the internet at some point. You didn't have to see how the sausage was made. You just
and again, it's funny because I had to find somebody that wanted to kind of co-host with me that wanted to do that work. And what's interesting is it's one of my friends growing up and playing basketball with, and he's always wanted to do a podcast, but he could never find someone that was consistent enough to do it with. So I thought that I had a lot of expertise in that field, and he decided he would do the heavy lifting. And we have no Tom Google Doc though. We it's funny. The first episode was bad because we really had no Tom Google Doc. Now we kind of have like a pseudo Tom Google Doc. Not as good as the real Tom Google Doc though.
You got to have the Tom Google Doc. That's the key.
It is definitely the key.
Well, because, early on we used to, I think from the beginning we always had an outline, although over time my outlines have gotten less and less detailed. Although you say that they're more detailed, but I used to, do a little bit more, but it's, yeah.
You know what I find though, in doing anything outside of, let's say, the kind of the cool thing about Disney is that if you're a Disney person, you have some understanding about everything, right? So it doesn't matter what we really talk about. There's some sort of, opinion, thought, you kind of know what's going on, even if it's a ride you don't like or an IP you don't care for. But what I found is doing something kind of outside of Disney becomes a lot harder because when you talk about, let's say, shows on television, we had to, kind of segment it down to just Netflix. And then you even take Netflix originals only. I can't watch that much TV. So you kind of go into this thing saying, well, we're going to cover 3 shows every episode. What if you just don't like those shows? Right? What if you just don't watch those shows? You're kind of stuck. Where this is great because, everyone that I would hope that's listening likes Disney. So you always kind of gain something out of it. You can always listen to one of our episodes and enjoy something of it. So.
Yeah, you make me realize, Damon, that I think there's about 5 shows on Netflix that I can name off the top of my head, and none of them were the ones you were talking about.
So Trevor, what's interesting is that The Hollow would be a phenomenal show for you and your son to watch. Like, you would really, really like it.
Okay,
So
well, I'll have
that.
to check that one out for sure.
Yeah.
Damon, are you doing Disney Plus shows too, or is this just strictly Netflix?
Oh, so again, it's just Netflix originals for now. And if it becomes a larger podcast, I think what we would do is a Patreon of other streaming services, so they would be kind of separate. But it's a lot of work, right? So again,
I know.
We're covering 3 shows, and it's already a lot of work. I can't imagine, doing more than that. We're actually going to be every 2 weeks, the same day so I'm going to be recording 2 podcasts every time, same weekend. Yeah, we did ours on Thursday, so we release Monday, and then we'll do this one. But I think it will be nice to kind of get them both done in the same weekend. But again, learned a lot from you guys, and I appreciate that as well. We'll see how it goes. But thank you for the time.
Yeah, I'll pick it up.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out, and I'll anxiously
First
await.
one's not so good. Listen to the second one.
I'll anxiously await my invite onto the show.
Hey, listen, all you guys are always welcome. Always welcome.
All right.
Awesome.
I'm down. Go ahead, Trevor. Sorry.
I was just going to say that, David, you just got to say the pilot's never as good as, the rest of the series.
It never is. I think
true.
I went back to make myself feel a little bit better. I went back and listened to our first couple episodes. I'm like, oh, okay. Not so bad.
It's brutal. It's brutal to
It
listen
is.
to those early ones. I can't do it.
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, and Chad, you do weekly, right? Or well, you do yours kind of just you do them whenever you can, and then release them weekly, right?
Yeah, I record in batches, and then I try to publish once a week, and then we do a live show once a week as well. And this week I cheated, and I made the live show the podcast. So
that's what we do. So,
how did your trivia stuff come out? I saw the first one, and it seemed very interesting.
Oh, it's doing really well. We had like 90, almost 100 players last night.
Okay.
For a Friday night trivia, and what it is we live stream to Facebook and YouTube. kind of co-hosting the trivia rounds. And then I have a software that I use that you just bring up a web browser on your smartphone, type in the address, and when I hit start, it starts a script and it shows you a trivia question and answers, and you touch the one that you think is right. And it's multiple guess, A, B, C, or D. And then at the end of a round of about 10 questions, it tells you where you're at in the pack. And, it's basically the NCN style trivia, the pub style trivia, but it's all Disney questions and you play on your smartphones. And the other cool thing that we did was, like, when Tom comes in, we'll add a welcome homies list to the teams. And so everybody who plays can select what podcast team they're playing for. And then at the end of the night, we kind of rank them all up and tell everybody how they're doing. And so various podcast communities, we're all friends. We'll start trash talking each other and seeing who can come out on top. Right now, the team to beat is Kurt Stone over at Geekin' on WDW.
We're gonna have to change that. I guess this is a good enough time to announce that I am going to host your trivia night at some point here soon. So,
yeah, I think we have you down for either next Friday or the Friday after. So,
yeah, we're gonna make that happen.
Let me know. I'll definitely play for sure. My wife's in quarantine; she'll definitely play.
Yeah,
she got nothing else to do,
right? Yeah, she got nothing but time.
Nothing else to do.
Yeah,
great.
I mean, it's a lot of fun. You watch the stream on one screen, like a laptop or something like that. And then you play on your smartphone, or you could technically play in a second tab in the browser if you wanted to. It's smart enough to do that, but it's a lot of fun. We have fun, and
I thought it was a great idea, Chad. I wanted to steal it, but no one would let me. No, I like you too much to steal it.
He was going to steal the idea.
It was a very good idea.
Just throw a welcome home logo on it.
Hey,
we would never
Damon,
do that to Chad.
Anytime you want to co-host a game, let me know, man. Even if you want to just borrow the software, we'll set it up and you can run a private session just for the welcome homies or your new podcast and whatever, buddy. We'll take care of you.
I'll tell you this right now. I'm writing these questions and I'm making them hard. I'm going to do some obscure stuff.
Wait, say, hold on a second. So you're writing the questions and then we're going to try to win these questions? That doesn't seem fair, though.
Well,
I'm giving Disney trivia. It's just going to be some,
But see, either I'm going to be mad at you, Tom, because they were too hard, or everyone's going to think we cheated if we win. See, that's a no-win for us.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, the collusion. We can't do any of the collusion stuff.
Yeah, actually, we've also figured out it's better to let my little team of volunteers write the questions.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because if they're too hard, people quit. Okay, and they get mad. And if they're too easy, then it's just who can type it in the fastest, right? And then it's a speed contest, not a trivia contest. So through a lot of trial and error, we kind of have our pattern here. And so we kind of have gotten good at it by now, but it's taken 2 months of doing this.
Yeah. It's kind of like Disney Quizney. I love Disney Quizney.
So, yeah.
But they gave away a lot of money, though. Chad, are you giving anything away?
No.
Oh, see? Okay.
No,
Yeah,
as a matter of fact, my Patreons end up supporting the platform because we don't have sponsors, we don't have ads, and that just makes it easier to get out there and share the deal because it started with this whole COVID, stay home, stay safe, stay magical. We wanted to give people something to look forward to and something positive with the parks being down and all the negative news from Disney and when are they opening and all of our vacations getting canceled. And so we wanted something fun in Disney, and it really fits the bill.
Trevor, I think you were going to say something. Sorry.
Well, I was just going to mention that, Tom, I would actually probably really enjoy whatever questions you come up with, but I know I'm not normal in that sense.
Well, because you would want the hard questions.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would be that guy that would be in like the really weird, obscure stuff. So
we should make a really difficult trivia night, Chad. You should have one night where it's like, these are all really hard questions.
Okay.
Only come if you're a Disney expert,
And then 10 people show up. See, that's what Chad's trying to tell you guys.
It
doesn't work that way.
Well,
I know.
some questions are like much harder than you think. For example, what color is Woody's vest?
Well, it's brown, right?
No, it's yellow.
His shirt is like a yellow-red check, isn't it? And then he's got I was just watching Toy Story literally before we started recording this.
So the problem is you're both wrong, and it's cow, isn't it?
What?
Isn't it cow material?
Oh, is it?
Yeah. See, you're both
see,
wrong.
you're right.
That's
Oh,
why.
sorry.
There you go. Chad.
Yeah, I'm thinking
proving
of
his
shirt. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Dang
You
it.
know what? You're right.
Because, yeah, I was thinking of the yellow shirt.
I mean, I wasn't even right because I knew it. I was right because I Googled it.
That's cheating. You can't Google things.
See, we have a 15-second timer, so you really don't have a chance to go Google it and kind of.
My Google skills are really on point, Chad.
Yeah,
They're really on point.
I think Damon's Google foo is high.
Yeah, like I type 120 words a minute, and I always have Google open. So I don't know. We'll see.
That's pretty funny. Well, that's cool. We could start talking about the show. Yeah. So we have Chad on. We wanted to bring Chad on because Chad was, like I said, generous enough to include us in his app that he just put out. People ask all the time for DVC to put out an app, and really there's not a good DVC app out there that will help you with your vacation and all the other questions you might have about DVC. So Chad has endeavored to create an app from a member's perspective, right? Of the things that a member might want to see, right? So Chad, if you want to talk about your app, that would be great.
Yeah, well, this is our entry into the member tool space, okay? Because we're really trying to create this app to give members a little bit of a toolbox, okay? And I say that because it's not just a point calculator. We have like links in there to Tom's show. We have links in there to my show, news feed from DVC News. Okay, we're really starting to build this thing out as just to go beyond a point calculator app. And so one of the cool features that we did there was when you start talking DVC, everybody says, oh, you're going to save all this money compared to rack rate. Well, who calculates rack rate? Where do you go to find rack rate? Well, the answer now is you can come to our app because for the resorts that publish it, and so far everybody but Grand Cal publishes this, you can pull up the app, put in your dates, and it'll tell you, hey, this is what the parking fees would be for this stay, but we don't have to pay it because we're DVC. This is what the rack rate is, the taxes are, and it'll show you some amazing figures. And you'll look at this and go, wow, I really feel better about my DVC purchase. The other cool thing that I did was I had Kenny come back in and I go, okay, Kenny, we need some fun water cooler talk. And so I wanted this thing to be able to calculate a stay for 365 days or 366 last year because it was leap year. And so I'm going to give you guys just a little question here. What do you think the most expensive DVC room is for 366 days consecutive?
Like the most expensive for that entire stay?
Yep.
Well, it's got to be a grand villa, I would assume, right?
I want to say the bungalows.
Oh, a bungalow. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I might go with a bungalow.
Yeah, it actually is. And so you can put into the calculator and say, come back in and do this. You guys want to guess how many points that is?
Oh, gosh.
So it's 53,903 points. There's a button on here that'll show you point breakdown, and you can see what it is per night. You can also see the cash rate per night. Do you guys want to guess what it costs, what the rack rate is to stay in this room for an entire year?
Oh, gosh, I have no idea.
And I'm not really giving you, it's not fair because it's not like the trivia night. Maybe I'll do a trivia night and throw one of these in here, but
I don't pay attention to the rack rate, so I don't pay attention to cash.
Yeah, but this is just kind of fun stuff, right? So if you were to come back in and pay cash for this room, it would be $1.25888, like $1.25 million. Okay, $888
for a year.
Yeah,
a bungalow.
Yeah, 140, about 141K in tax, $12,000 parking fee. And so all things said and done, it's like 2.789 million or all things said and done, it's 1.278 million. I just get tongue tied with all of these numbers and counts.
Some high numbers.
Yeah. So that's kind of the fun water cooler stuff. And then I got another button on there that said, hey, what if you were to rent that through our partner DVC rental store? And it comes out to just over $1 million, which I'm sure they would round down to $1 million for you if you want to do that. And then if you were to rent out those points, your income would be $781,000.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it does that really cool, but that's like the year one, but it'll do it for a vacation. You can put in here, like one of the things we struggle with is occupancy when you're a new DVC member. So if you're wondering where does your family of 5 fit, you can tell us how many people are coming with you and then make the filters just show you rooms that fit 5 people. So that was a really cool feature. And then like if you go to a 1-bedroom over at Saratoga, it'll say, hey, the 5th person will fit here, but you need to bring your own bedding. So all of those like really weird gotchas we planned into the app just to help people somewhat smooth the learning curve of DVC.
That's great because I mean the learning curve is pretty steep, right? I mean, for a lot of people.
It really is. And so we looked at that, and the other part that we've got here is a function called stretch and splurge. So let's say you come back in and calculate out your week, and then you go, well, what if I moved? Okay. What else could I get for about the same amount of points? If you hit the stretch and splurge button, it'll show you every other room in DVC and you can rank them. So it's like, hey, I could save a few points by moving down to Old Key West. Or for a few more points, I could get a Boardwalk Standard. Or for this, I could get that. And it'll let you see up and down where you're at to come back in and let you know how to plan out your points and where to target for your next vacation.
And you know, to your point, I just was on, you know, I'm on the app right now. I just pulled up my vacation that I have coming up in September that I'm doing, which is going to be 213 points. It's a 1-bedroom Savannah view at Kidani for 7 nights. The rack rate for that would be $9,478, $1,184 in tax, and then the $231 in parking fees. But if we take out the parking fees, we're just over $11,000 that would cost me to do that trip. So
yep,
that's amazing. I would not have thought that was that much.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of the app is to come back in and do this. And future releases, we're going to put in here where you can input your home resorts, your contracts, and estimate what you paid for them. So we'll be able to come back in and tell you, hey, you know, rack rate was 11 grand, but your actual cost on this was 5 or 6, you know, however it comes out to with your cost per point and your dues. So we're really not done with the app. It's kind of like Waltz in Disneyland. We're going to keep driving this thing forward because we want this thing to be the ultimate member toolkit to come back in and help plan out your stays and connect people and all kinds of cool stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's super handy. And yeah, like you said, you know, I've used the point calculators before, but yeah, you guys are definitely going way beyond what, just those basic point calculators that I usually find out there.
Yeah, it is. And then visually, we've got pictures in the app. It's all coded in native script so that we could port it over to Android or port it to iPhones. So it's available on both platforms. And we really did a really good job laying this thing out like a professional deal because my developer, Kenny, this is what he does for a living. So he looked at it like, man, this thing's my calling card if anybody needs an app produced. And so we really kind of took it to next level of coding as well.
That's great. So it's out on iOS and Android now?
Yep.
People can go and download it?
Yep.
Anything else you want to mention about it?
Let's see. Key features of the app. I think we've covered most of them. It's a lot heavy financial today. Where we're going to be going in the next couple releases is going into like a meme calculator or a meme creator. So right now, if you come to the home screen after you've saved this, it has the little countdown timers that'll show you 180 day, 60 day, 90 day, 30 day, all of those important numbers. And next version of it's going to be able to come back in and tell you when to cancel by. Thank you, coronavirus. Okay. All of a sudden cancel by dates have become top of mind for people. But when you save the vacation in the app, it'll ask you, do you want me to save it to your local calendar on your phone as well? So you'll see it on all of your phones. Like when I save a vacation, it shows up on my Apple Watch because it's actually written to the calendar and gives you little notifications on that. So really cool stuff on the app.
Yeah, great. I appreciate you sharing with us. I know a lot of our listeners will get some use out of that for sure. So it's definitely, like I said, eye opening to see $11,000 for my trip that I would have had to pay in cash.
Yeah, we take that for granted. So
we definitely do. Yeah, for sure. So I appreciate you talking about that, Chad. We had some listener topics left over from the last episode, and we wanted to do more listener topics because we are trying to keep things fun and light and different and not trying to talk about anything negative and having a good time. So, and Gwendolyn actually had written all these would you rather questions for us in the last episode, and then I had challenged her to write some more. And so now we have a bunch of these would you rather. So we're going to run through these, Trevor. And you know, Damon and Chad, obviously. Damon's been quiet. I think we put him to sleep, but
no, I actually
not because
got
of you,
kicked out
Chad.
for a second. I had to come back in.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it wasn't Chad. He wasn't bored by your app. He wasn't.
No, well, let me rephrase. I didn't get kicked out. I was actually on Pinterest doing something and closed down the window by mistake. I mean, if you really want me to be honest.
Don't be offended, Chad. He does this to us all the time.
Yeah.
it's Damon. Like, this is just like par for the course.
Well, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, it's a
I come to
compliment.
expect it, know it, and like it.
Yeah,
right?
well, you know, the problem is like I said, you know, running the website, another website and doing all that, I kind of find this time when there's like a dead spot, like, oh, okay, like, oh, I forgot to do that. And I go try to do it real quick. And normally I'm really good, but I don't know what happened. I clicked down the wrong window and,
You just called him talking about his app in dead spot, Damon. Come on. He didn't mean it, Chad. He loves you.
yeah.
Anyway, so we're going to do Would You Rather. So the first one she has on here
Wait a
is,
second. Hold on. I want to address that though, Tom. See, so Chad and myself
Okay.
were talking about the app prior to the show even recording. And I just, you know, I said it was funny for me, again, as everyone knows, like I think it's great information. There's no doubt about it. And I'm a numbers guy. It's just when it comes to Disney, I don't really care so much. I don't go in on as many trips as you guys go on. Like I may have had it longer, but because I'm usually only planning one trip a year because I'm going with my friends, it almost turns into I already know what that's going to be, right? The numbers for me are pretty easy. And then if I have leftover, I save. If I don't, like, I only go once. I think that where Chad's app is really good is that, you know, if you're going to be planning a few trips a year and you have a certain amount of points, I think that's where it really becomes great trying to figure out, you know, how can I make the most use of the points that I have across the year? And that's not necessarily me, right? So not that I've dead spotted Chad's app. I think it's great. I go, you know, for the person going one trip a year, at least the way I do it, it doesn't make sense. But the other question that got brought up, Tom, is again, how many points do you have, Tom? Because me and Chad were talking because I was like, you know,
I currently have a contract pending, so I'm waiting on.
yeah, how many points will you have
contract
all
result.
together after you're done?
Oh, okay. So if that contract goes through, I'll have 310.
Okay, I want to make note of that number because I have to have more.
He's got to write it down because Damon is thinking about buying a contract.
Yeah, so I got to get past 310. So like, I'm just waiting for that contract that has, you know, see what I'm at 170, right? So I just need 141 points.
140.
No, 141. And I need 141
Yeah,
points. So I'm just looking for that Saratoga contract that's 141 points. So if anyone has that, you know, if DVC.
Oh, you got to beat them by a little. Just pick up a 160. They're common.
Yeah, you got to. There you go. You just got to. Yeah, you got to extend the lead a little bit there. Well, I mean, I might sell my other contract though too, so I might drop back down to 210. So
Yeah, I can't take that chance though. That's too big of a chance.
I know it's
We're gonna
tough.
have to have Derek on again though, and Marissa, because I need to figure out what I'm doing. Is me and Chad were talking. I said to him because you know he made a valid point. And I said yes, but I never pay my I never ever pay my contract cost, my loan on time at Disney, and Disney never charges a late fee ever. So if I go resale, like I have to be more conscious of actually like paying my loan on time. I'm not that person. I don't know if I like that so much.
Disney's really. I didn't realize that Disney was so.
I'm like
cool
sometimes I'm
about
like
that.
4 weeks late. Yeah, dude, there's been months I just forgot. Like, oh, I forgot to pay Disney last month, and I'm like, oh, I guess I gotta pay them. And dude, no late fees, no nothing, which is great.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get them on here, and you should get on their app and do like an alert. That's how I found my contract. I got an alert saying this is the perfect contract for you. Pick it
Yeah,
up.
I think I'm done with both of my contracts being paid next month, so it will be right after that I'll be looking. That's kind of always been my plan.
So did you get the same use year this time, Tom? Or
yes, that was the reason I bought another contract, was to get the same use year, because I screwed up. So getting different use years has been a pain, and I really regret every moment of it. When I've tried to, especially now when I had to cancel my vacation, the amount of stuff we had to do just to make the vacation in April work with the 2 different contracts, it's a nightmare. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to find a contract that's the same use year as my original direct contract. And then I will offload the one that is the other use year, the one I bought. Whether I'm actually going to sell the other one, we'll see. I might enjoy having all those points, but I don't know. Yes, I am trying to get everything on the same use year. That's the plan. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's an Animal Kingdom contract, and I know Disney likes to buy those back, although they haven't been buying it back a ton during this time. But
no, last month was goose egg. So
yeah. Let's hope. But they do like those Animal Kingdom contracts. So anyway, we were going to do Would You Rather, guys. Unless there's anything else. Go ahead, Trevor. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, are we going to go over this list or
no? Never.
Okay. We're just going to go on weird tangents and stuff.
Well, that's what we do. Yeah. All right, so let's do. Would you rather get rid of the Epcot Lounge or Moonlight Magic events?
Moonlight Magic.
I'm going to start.
Nope, you don't even get to start. I'm so adamant. Moonlight Magic can suck it.
All right, I got. Wow. Okay.
I'm just speechless. Like,
oh man. I actually am with you. I'd go Moonlight Magic. I like the Epcot Lounge.
Damon, have you been to a Moonlight Magic event?
No, I have no interest.
That's past his bedtime, Chad. That's
one. It's way past my bedtime.
Oh, okay.
2, what you're asking me to do is randomly plan my trip around these rando events, and that's just not what I do.
Got it. Okay.
You see, I'm actually in the same boat with you, Damon, but for a slightly different reason. Is that I've had one previous attempt at Moonlight Magic which got killed, and the one coming up in October is very much in danger right now. So, yeah, maybe I just don't want them there, because it seems like every time I stand a chance of getting to a Moonlight Magic event, it just gets canceled anyway. So
I'd say cancel Moonlight Magic in a heartbeat if it meant that we could have a lounge in another park. But that's not really the question.
That's not the question. Yeah. But still, that Epcot lounge is nice. And even my parents who are not DVC members, when we went up there, they were like, this is really nice. So yeah, I would keep the Epcot lounge.
It's nice, but at the end of the day, it's a sippy cup full of Coke. Okay, come on.
Yeah.
Well, it's also
yeah, but I think that you're underestimating that sippy cup of Coke.
Now, granted, it's a retail value of $15 for the sippy cup of Coke. And
how many drinks are you drinking? Because I would say by the time my family gets up there, we're probably through at least 15. So 15 drinks.
Wow.
Yeah, but you could get free refills, so I'm really only counting it as 5. Okay.
Free refills where, though? Wherever you mean, like at a restaurant or something?
Yeah, like Electric Umbrella.
I mean, maybe, but there's snacks.
When we had that.
There's feet relaxing.
Yeah, that's the bigger thing for me, is it just that break from the chaos.
What about percussion massagers, Trevor? What if they had them in there?
Oh, I'd be down for that. Yeah,
feet massaging. Absolutely. That's what we should do. We should cancel all Moonlight Magic and put feet massagers in there.
just put masseuses in general. They just have a person.
Now you're getting a little crazy. Now you're getting crazy. How about just chairs? So think about this from a financial standpoint, right? So you figure what massage chairs are. What, $5,000? Figure what they break. People would break them because, savages and all that. So you figure you have to do 20 of them 3 times a year. So let's say 60. Dude, cancel all Moonlight Magic and give me 20 massage chairs in there. I'm good with that.
This Moonlight Magic events probably cost a lot of money to put on.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. They're over $500,000 each. So they've got some budget. They've got some budget to open up some lounges and somewhat pimp my lounge, so to speak.
I see. I value the Epcot lounge. Like
I do too, a lot.
I value it for like sitting and sitting down for a little while, getting some air conditioning, cooling off, charging my phone. That's what I value it for. Not necessarily the free soda, although I do like the free soda.
The drinks. I mean, Yeah, because
Yeah, but we need longer hours on them because they close at like 6. And
That's
by the
perfect.
I'll agree with you on that. I'll agree on that.
6 o'clock closing is perfect.
I say stay open till park closing. That's what I'm thinking.
Or an hour before park closing. Okay.
Yeah, but then it would be prime fireworks viewing area.
Oh, could you imagine that?
If you could watch that'd probably be neat to watch it from there.
There'd be-
Although I don't know
there'd be
what kind of view
fisticuffs,
you'd
though.
get. Yeah, there's. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm in the Epcot lounge, I'm always thinking to myself like, you suckers out there in the heat and the humidity. I'm here in the air conditioning. That's my one time where I'm like, I'm kidding.
I'm more in there like, why are your feet up on the chairs? Why are your feet up on the chairs?
yeah.
Why are your shoes off? Why are your feet up on the chairs? Like, that's more of what I'm like in the lounge. All right, let me get another drink. Why are your feet up on the chairs? Why are you laying down across 4 chairs? Like, why are you doing that? That's more of what it happens to me.
Is
You
bed
really want
not that
somebody's
comfortable?
stinky feet like massaging you?
And that's what happens in that place. People like lounge out across like 4 chairs. I've seen people take 2 chairs and lay on both of them. Like, that's usually what I'm thinking about, going, you savages.
Wow. Okay. Well, okay. Let's go to the next one here. We've talked about that one. Let's. I actually don't like the number 3 on here. I
Why?
wanna go to the next
No.
one. Swim at Stormalong Bay or take a safari at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Why don't you like that?
I
I'm
don't
a
know,
beach
I don't care
club
about
owner.
water parks.
Stormalong Bay for the win.
Yeah, swimming a storm along bay, of course.
Safari at Animal Kingdom.
No.
I gotta go swimming. That's far more interesting to me.
All right, fine. Stay Ocean View at Alani or Grand Cal for Christmas.
Grand Cal every day.
Oof. That's
That
good.
one's tough.
No, Grand Cal. I would absolutely stay at the Grand Californian for Christmas.
I think I'm going to have to go Grand Cal too, just because I don't want the extra 5 hours of flight. It's already going to take me 5 hours to get to Grand Cal. I don't want another 5+ to get to Alani.
Well, and plus that entrance into California Adventure is worth it.
Yeah, I think I might go. You know what? I've never been to Hawaii, so yeah, I'm gonna take the opposite view. I'm gonna go Ocean View at Alani.
I'm going to go Grand Cal.
Man, I'm in the minority on that one.
Ouch.
Well,
All
you
right.
know what's interesting is that Alani is just not Disney. It's Hawaii. Like, I've never been. So listen, I've never been. So I'm just speaking about what I feel it would be like.
Yeah, that's not the vibe that I get from talking with people. I'm supposed to be going next summer, and I'm shooting for a Grand Villa there. So, but from what I gather, it's uniquely Disney with uniquely Hawaiian culture. They blend the
There's
two.
rides there? No, I'm being
You got
facetious,
Nature's
right?
theme park.
I'm being
right there,
facetious, right?
Okay.
Yeah, when
You've
David
got
says
Mother
Disney, he
Nature's
means
theme
rides.
park.
Yeah.
There's not rides there, so again, it can suck it. I wish that was my
Get
word
the
of the week.
bunnies right next door.
Where'd Katie go? I needed Katie to send me a word of the week, and it should have been suck it.
I feel like you're coming up with a new segment now called Damon's. I don't even know what we call it, but you have like a catchphrase where you go, "This thing at Disney suck." Like that's it's Damon's disses.
There's been no
Dissed by Damon.
There's been no detours because there's been nowhere to go.
There's been no travel. Yeah, so
Last few months have been a detour.
Yes.
yeah, that's right. Yes, it is. All right, let's say. So this is almost a which would you
Rather not do.
which would you hate less? The internal bus system at Old Key West or Saratoga?
Oh, I don't think it matters.
No, it doesn't.
It really doesn't.
Like the
It
same.
depends
right?
on where I'm staying. Okay. If I'm up near Hospitality
No,
House,
it's-
the buses are,
Chad, it's the worst for
are
both of them.
manageable.
It's the worst spot for both of them, or the best spot for both of them. It's not like you don't get to say where you're staying. So it's either the best spots of both of them or the worst spots.
I've
It's
never
best
stayed at
spot at
Saratoga.
both. I'm
so-
going Old Key West. If
Yeah,
it's
see, I've never stayed Saratoga, so I can't really comment.
You know what is nice about Saratoga? And again, I've never stayed at Old Key West either to know, but sometimes like even to get off at the wrong stop and walk at Saratoga is fine. That's what we do sometimes.
yeah, you've got that option there. So
Yeah, I've had enough bus. I'm just getting off and walking.
But see, if you're up front at Old Key West, you can hop off at the first stop coming in, and then you can get on the last stop going out. So it's right there.
The last
Saratoga-
stop going out sounds suck.
Yeah. I did that we stayed at Caribbean Beach a few years ago, and that was not good.
Because either the bus is full or you're standing, right, Trevor?
Yep, that was it.
If you rope drop, if you don't rope drop, it's empty no matter when you go.
Rope drop though.
Oh, I don't rope drop.
Lots of people don't rope drop. Yeah.
That's like the whole point of Disney is rope dropping.
Rope drop can suck it, to borrow a Damon's term.
No, rope drop's the best.
That's funny. All right. So sleep a fifth adult in a studio. Oh, wait, we didn't get Trevor's answer. Trevor, and I didn't give an answer either, I guess, for Old Key West or Saratoga.
Well, I mean, kind of like the other guys are saying, it's neither here nor there. So I guess I would say Old Key West.
I'm going to say Old Key West as well, because I have stayed there and I did not mind the internal bus system there. I actually thought it was pretty fast and not too bad. So I'm going to say that one. All right. So sleep a fifth adult in a studio at Polynesian, Beach Club, or Boardwalk.
I think that's called do a new vacation. So here's how it goes for me. I mean, are we talking a fifth adult? Like, as in, hold on. So what does adult mean, right? Because my daughter, in Disney's eyes, at 9 years old, is an adult, right? So that changes the question. Are we talking about an adult, or are we talking about a Disney adult?
All right. Let's say it's your grandmother.
I don't stay in the same studio as anyone besides my immediate people that have come out of my loins at this point, or my wife. So. So I would say that none
of the above.
I'm paying to get them their own room. That's what I'm doing. There's my option.
There you go. Okay. I think you got to go poly, right? Because the extra bathroom in there, right?
Yeah. The two or kind of two bathrooms. I think it would be a little more manageable than the other
you
ones.
could at least put the guy who snores into the poly bathroom. Somewhat close the door.
There you go.
Yeah, the bathroom is big enough to sleep someone.
That'd be weird to sleep in a bathroom.
But what about my daughter who sleeps in the closet? That's awesome.
I mean, a closet's one thing. I can see sleeping in a closet. Bathroom is just kind of weird, but I guess it's convenient.
Yeah.
All right. So how about have a guaranteed week for Christmas or for spring break? I'm going Christmas.
Of course. Anyone who says spring break is lying.
Yeah, I'm going Christmas.
Yeah.
It's just too hard to get Christmas.
Well, it's not only too hard to get Christmas, but spring break is nuts, and it's hotter, and there's no special decorations.
I think you have the same amount of people, right? Which is called over the top
Probably,
at either one. So
yeah,
at least Christmas is Christmas,
right? So what? There's better food. There's all sorts of stuff. I guess spring break is warmer though.
Yeah.
That's the only good thing is, right? Spring break is warmer, so you can do more of the water parks.
That's subjective.
Yeah, because I would prefer colder personally. I don't want it to be warmer. I want it to be colder.
I was swimming in November, so yeah, I don't care.
That's true. That's true. All right, let's see. Do a resort only stay at Animal Kingdom or Saratoga? I think this is easy. I go Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, I don't think that one's fair.
Why?
I mean, I would
Got the animals to look at.
So what?
Yeah, like.
Damon's saying Saratoga on this. He's saying Saratoga. I know.
Of course I am, because you know what I've realized is that going there the last time, these are pretty much the only two resorts I go to. Regularly. Animal Kingdom is great until I've seen the animals, right? I know what they look like now, and the food can suck it. So, and the pool is just small. And
bread service, bro. The bread service.
Okay.
No,
he doesn't like any of those restaurants.
He doesn't like Sonata. I don't like any of the restaurants there.
Or Boma, nothing.
And
they're all great.
I like actually walking around Saratoga more than I thought. I'm going to say Saratoga. I'm going to be in the minority here. I'm okay with that.
No,
and,
fair.
And I will give you as well the Turf Club. Okay, that's a great restaurant.
I just really don't like anything at Animal Kingdom, restaurant-wise, at all.
Anything food-wise.
No, none. Sorry.
I
apologize to everyone, but they know that's the truth for me. Like, you know that, because that's all I do is complain about that every time I have to go there. And my friends that I go with are Animal Kingdom people, and I always stay at Animal Kingdom. The last time we went was the first time that we didn't stay together at Animal Kingdom with them. And I was like, oh my goodness, the food here is so much better for me.
I get it. I don't blame you. So Chad, you're on the Animal Kingdom trade, and I think you are, Trevor, too, right?
Yeah.
I've actually done a resort only at Animal Kingdom. or at least I tried to make it resort only. It didn't end up that way, but we tried it.
What, you just end up going to the parks eventually?
They ended up giving us tickets to accommodate some goof up that they made. And so, yeah.
Nice. All right, let's see. Grand Villa or separate studios for a small family reunion of 12 people? I say separate studios.
Depends on how many people have to be in each studio.
4.
Let's say 4. Yeah, let's go with 4.
Ooh. Yikes. The Grand Villa has only how many bathrooms? It's all going to be a bathroom thing for me. What's the person to bathroom ratio better at? So 4 people in
4
studios
bathrooms.
is 3 bathrooms, right?
Yeah, unless you're talking poly.
Okay. Let's take that off the table.
You're going to get more bathrooms per person in a Grand Villa.
Then I'm Grand Villa. I need more bathrooms.
I'm going Grand Villa for the simple fact that that's what makes the grand family gathering, and all being together and being able to cook a meal or bake cookies together or hang out together in a living room.
Did you just say bake cookies?
Yeah.
On a vacation?
Yeah. Haven't you seen the DVC tour videos? They
Some
make
people
cookies.
cook. Some people cook.
They don't work for us Canadians.
You can
right?
just walk out and get whatever snack you want, but you're going to bake cookies in the Grand Villa.
Yeah, heck yeah. Those little Pillsbury ones that you don't have to mix anything. You just get fresh hot cookies because then you get some cold milk.
Chad, I really like you, but this is even too much for me. Baking cookies.
Baking cookies can suck it.
Okay.
Dude,
I will
go
say
check out the
this.
DVC marketing videos. They got people baking cookies.
But does that make it right? I mean, there's a lot of things on TV that aren't right.
We've done it. We make
Oh,
tacos quite regularly when we're there.
I have to go on mute for a second.
So I will say this: if they actually sold like a cookie kit that was like some sort of cookie that you get in the park that you can make in your Grand Villa, I would be interested. If I'm just making cookies there, again, being a Canadian, it's already hard enough getting down there. I can't see myself trying to figure out all the stuff necessary to make cookies in a Grand Villa.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
does
just have
the
to get
oven
that
temperature
grocery
thing
delivered.
screw with you? Is that what it is?
No,
I'm
it's just getting all the ingredients.
The grocery order,
Good.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I can see if you're making them from scratch, but I'm talking about like the Pillsbury comes in a log and you just
Still
put the
needs
little
to be
cookies.
refrigerated, though.
You've got a Grand Villa. You've
But
got
he's
a
coming
fridge,
from
an oven, a
Canada.
microwave.
He's coming from
Well, no,
Canada. He's
he
not
orders
putting in
it-
his cooler and bringing.
He orders it to the room. He orders it to the room with his.
So he picks up the phone instead of ordering
Instacart,
from.
Amazon Prime.
My goodness! So instead of ordering from like the restaurant that can give you any dessert you want, you're calling up to order cookie dough. All right.
Yeah, because
This
there's
is-
something
this
about
is-
fresh baked cookies, like warm.
This has changed my opinion altogether of all of you guys. That's all I'm going to say.
This
Cookies.
is amazing. No, listen, I'm on your side. I don't want to cook anything ever in my villa. I want to go and eat at all the restaurants. That's half the vacation for me. Is eating at the restaurant.
Tom, I'm with you, man.
Yeah, that's half the vacation. The sweets and everything, man. I have a sweet tooth. I love all the sweets at Disney. That's what I want to eat. I don't want to eat Pillsbury cookies. I'm with you.
All right.
Now, that being said, the smell of fresh baked cookies, sticking around in the Grand Villa, that would be nice. I would like that. But
Well, you can go hang out at the bakery on Main Street and do that.
There you go.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. All right. This has gotten out of control.
Sorry, just to put in my 2 cents also on the Villa versus
yeah.
studios. Studios only because as much as I love my family, we need our space. So for me, it is space, and we absolutely would do the studios.
Well, you know what the other thing is too? It depends, I guess, when people, if we're talking park visits as well, and when people are going to the park, and is everyone going to the park together at different times, or people waking up early? I guess the wake up schedule could make a difference to that as well.
Yeah. And in my family, kind of like her, I have my parents and my brother, they all operate in totally different schedules than what I do. So,
And what's actually interesting for me is that the Grand Villa also has this whole thing where if my kids wanted to be up, they could be up and I could be sleeping at 6 o'clock like I like to. They could just be up in another part of the Grand Villa. Wait, Chad, have you stayed at a Grand Villa, you said?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Okay. It's roomy, right?
Oh, they're incredibly. They're more spacious than you could ever imagine. The one at Copper Creek is just insane.
The Animal Kingdom ones have a pool table.
That would be nice.
Yeah. So anyway, so the last one we have on here is have a new resort open adjacent to Animal Kingdom or Hollywood Studios. I think we should add in all the parks to this. I think because there's been a rumored one for at the Epcot entrance forever now. So
Why don't you like our listeners? Why do you have to change the question?
I just want to add Epcot into it. That's all.
Well, no, because this is an either or. It's not an either or and.
There you go, Trevor. Get him.
I'm saying the list is incomplete. That's all I'm saying.
You're violating my programming mentality here, Tom.
Would you rather?
I mean, okay, so let's play it for a second though. Animal Kingdom Lodge is pretty much adjacent to Animal Kingdom, is it not?
It doesn't have. Well, she's saying
not,
like Grand Cal. It's not like Grand Cal.
Okay, fine, all right.
Yeah.
But nobody has that except for Grand Cal.
But that's the whole point of the question. That's the
whole point of our question.
Yeah, that's the question.
But what I'm saying is all of the parks should have this option. I should be able to
don't
pick
you
any
wish
park I want.
you had this little mute button like you do in Zoom just for Tom as the organizer? You just mute Tom and be like,
no.
Tom, sorry. It's an either Tom.
So
Hollywood
here's
Studios.
the thing.
All right.
I would say Animal Kingdom only because Hollywood Studios is getting the Star Wars hotel.
I was going to say, you're right. Star Wars is going to be the walk-in.
Hold on a second.
Hollywood Studios also has Skyliner, which Riviera darn well is almost there. It's close enough.
But the Star Wars hotel does not count.
Why not?
Because it's going to be such a...
It's adjacent.
It will be adjacent, but it's not like everyone...
Is it not a new resort, Damon?
I don't believe it's a new resort. I believe it's a new specialty resort, Chad.
Oh, okay. All right. Who's modifying the question now, David?
Yeah.
Star Wars isn't a regular resort. That's going to be some...
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. All right. I'll say Animal Kingdom. All right. But did everybody get their answer?
No, I don't like the food at Animal Kingdom in general, so I'm going to say Hollywood Studios if I want to go out to get, cookie dough or something.
All right. Cookie dough. All right. Well, we've done Would You Rather. I'm gonna do our ad now since we're already halfway through this thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and do our ad for our friends at DVC Resale Markets. That sound good? And then we can do a couple more of these listener questions and get into some other stuff.
Yeah, do it.
All right. Let's do this thing. DVC Resale Market is the leader in the DVC resale industry with 11 former Disney Vacation Club guides and 2 former Disney Vacation Club quality assurance managers. If you are thinking of buying DVC, browse the largest selection of DVC resale listings anywhere, with DVC experts on hand 7 days a week to answer your questions. If you're thinking of selling, turn to the friendly professionals at DVC Resale Market, where over 98% of listings sell within 30 days and nearly 3,000 contracts sold in 2019 alone. So go to dvcresalemarket.com or call 1-844-DVC-PROS. That's 1-844-382-7767. Of course, please let them know that Welcome Home sent you. That's dvcresalemarket.com or call 1-844-DVC-PROS. You guys know them. I'm buying a second contract from them, so I'm not just telling you about them because they're our sponsor. I would tell them about you regardless because they are our friends and they take care of people and they do a great job for members and for those that are buying new contracts. The most seamless process. I swear they're so easy to deal with, and they really take care of you. So, I mean, right? Yeah. I mean, Chad, you bought contracts from them. Trevor's bought contracts. Yeah. And so they are just the best. They're great to work with. They're super simple. They give you really easy instructions. They make everything seamless. So, dvcresalemarket.com. Let them know, you heard about them from Welcome Home. We hear all the time from them that you guys are reaching out to them and buying contracts or selling your contracts. So thanks for doing that. We appreciate it. All right. Do you guys want to do any of these other questions, or should we move on to some news items? Do we want to do any more questions?
Let's do Dan's question.
I was going to say, Dan's got a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are your thoughts about making a DVC resale purchase with this is a good transition, right, from our ad. What are your thoughts about making a DVC resale purchase with the sole intention of using it for one big trip? Example, buying a contract with double or triple points, borrowing from the next year, and using the points for a 3-bedroom villa or for a group of 12, then turn around and sell it. And Chad, I think you have some experience doing this.
Yeah, I actually did. I flipped a contract and I had DVC Resale Market find me a buyer for it when I was done. And absolutely, Dan, you can come back in. You make all of your money on the buy. Okay. You have to legally steal this contract in order to do it because you're paying commission and closing costs. And you've got to overcome that. But if you can get that buy low enough, that's where you're at because you'll never be able to sell it above resale or above retail. It just doesn't happen.
So you're saying you got to get a good deal.
Yeah.
Sorry, Trevor. I didn't mean to step on you.
I was going to say, so I guess the trick is making sure that you're not hitting low enough that it gets right of first refusal, right?
Well, even if it does, you have to put in offers that are so low that you don't care if it does. Because if they take it, great. If they don't take it, then you got a deal. And then you just have to keep fishing for them. That's the only way to do it.
Okay, so what? Yeah, I get.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Trevor.
Sorry, I was just gonna say. I guess it's not just like a Hail Mary contract. As you have to kind of be looking at across the board on this, right?
Well, you've got to be finding something that's incredibly low and somehow passes Rover. Like right now, with them not buying anything back, would be a good time. But you've got to find a seller who's willing, and we're back into a seller's market, believe it or not. So
when does it become cost effective? Like how many times would you have to use it to sell it back where it makes sense with all the costs involved?
There was only an app for that, Damon.
That's you see where I'm leading you, right? You see where I'm leading you.
Wow, that was amazing. So your app will do that, though. Chad, your app will tell you that, right?
Well, it'll tell you it'll tell you what the rack rate is, and the next version we're working on will tell you what your cost was to come back into it. But we're getting some feedback that people want the financials and other people don't. So it'll probably be ping-ponging on the releases. But yeah, you could come back in and you make your money on the buy here, and you've got to buy low and then sell at retail. Okay. Because you really have a hard time getting above market prices for a contract.
But again, if you're selling at retail, but you use 6 years, that changes the whole equation. 6 years of points per se.
It does, but that's a little bit different question than what he asked, because he's talking about buying one, stripping the points off.
For one trip. I got you. Yep, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think we got our answer on that. I mean, I've never tried to accomplish that before, but you certainly could, like you said, by making the right decision, buying the right contract, right?
Yeah.
So, cool. I did want to read Chris's question here. I think this is really important. He wants to know how to distinguish between Genesis and Phil Collins solo stuff, and he said he guesses wrong every time. I don't know the answer to this. I got nothing.
I listen to hip hop, so I'm out.
You listen to hip hop.
Yeah,
this is not.
It's not in my wheelhouse, really, at all.
If it's the Tarzan song, it's solo. Just saying.
There you go. That's okay. There you go. If it's anything from Tarzan,
that's all I got, man.
I just thought that was a funny question. Thanks for that, Chris. He did want to ask for real, though. He wanted some information about the financial fundamentals of first timers looking at DVC. And again, this is a great place, Chad, where your app comes in. He's on the fence about whether to buy resale or direct and the timing of it. And, it said the next 2 years seemed like a horrible time to buy with a possible backlog of demand and weird point distributions because of the closures is what he's saying here. But go ahead, Chad.
Well, I think he's right. It is going to be a little bit more difficult coming back in and using points here. But with people, whenever people are selling their contracts, their points are taken out of the market right now because you've got to have no reservations on there. So if there was a big people selling right now, then that would be good for the market because all of those points go out of it because you can't be making a reservation. You can't be holding a reservation while you go through that transition period. And from the time the person decides to sell the contract and it ends up in the next person's hands and they can book it as a minimum of about 3 to 4 months. And then you're going to be looking at using the 11-month window on your new contract because you bought it at a specific resort for a reason. So it's really going to take like a year out of points every time somebody goes and sells. So that'll be a little bit of relief there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Go ahead, Trevor.
Also, to that end, I would also say, the next 2 years are going to be weird, but you're not just buying the next 2 years either. Like it's a
good
much longer contract, and yeah, it'll be weird to the start, but that may actually work out in your favor a little bit. Kind of like what you were saying, Chad.
Yeah, that makes total sense. You're not buying it for the next 2 years. You're buying it for the next 40 some years, most likely, depending on what you buy, right? So 30, let's say 30 some years. It could be in that range. So, so that's a great question, and I would definitely say, Chad, your app can kind of help with the. Do you have a thing that's the difference between resale and direct on that app, or no?
No, that's coming in the next version. So, okay. Like 1.4, 1.5 kind of a deal. We're at 1.3 now, so.
Because I know that's always a question people have, right? Should I buy direct? Should I buy resale? Should I buy both? That's the question we get a lot.
Yeah, and it really does. Buying resale boils down to you're going to pay less per point right now. And you're going to take some level of restrictions buying a resale right now. You're either not going to be able to stay in the new resorts, or you're only going to be able to stay in your home resort if you buy Riviera. And then other than that, there's the blue card benefit, which you can determine for yourself. I mean, the vast majority said Moonlight's not worth it, which I think it's one of the best blue card benefits out there. And the Epcot Lounge to me it's okay, but it's never usually open when I try to do it past 6:00. So
don't get me wrong, Chad. I want to go to Moonlight Magic. I just have never. I was supposed to go to the one in April, and then it got canceled. So I want to go. It just never is taking place during my trip. So. And Trevor wants to go too, but Trevor
second time that I'm trying to go.
It's just for whatever reason, it seems like every time Trevor tries to go, there's something happens where he can't. So, we all want to go, I guess, except for Damon. Damon doesn't want to go late at night. So, but anyway, okay, did you guys take a look at this concept art for Disneyland, for the Disneyland DVC hotel?
Yeah,
that everybody wants to buy into.
Well, yeah.
I'm drooling.
Right? Like, yeah. I like the way that they made that gradual step down on it, so that, yeah, like they said, it is less imposing, and honestly, it'll probably look 100 times better than Paradise Pier at Disneyland. So.
So for those that haven't seen this, you can do some research out there. So essentially this building is going to be 12 stories tall at the tallest point, and it does like a gradual, it almost does like a step down to 5 stories at its shortest point. So it almost blends in, like it says on here, blends in with the neighborhood. And if you see the pictures of it, it does it. And that's the thing about Disneyland that's a little bit weirder, right? They have to really take into account the visuals of things because they're essentially in a residential area, right?
Yeah. It's weird because literally, like, you walk a block away from that hotel and it is just homes. So yeah, they are trying to be very cognizant of not overshadowing the area, even though it's clear like you are in the Disney bubble. I guess the fact that they're being considerate of that says a lot to me, just about Disney and generally the way that they're trying to bring these things in without upsetting too many people.
Well, and the Anaheim town council that needs to approve all this stuff, right? So
yeah, I was going to say, keep in mind, none of this has actually been approved yet. They're still going through that.
Yeah, exactly. Chad,
they've got approval for demolition stuff. There's some big signs up there now saying that they can start to take some things down.
Yeah, but they're still going through all the stuff with the Anaheim board. You're right. I did see those approvals, but that doesn't mean that it's like full on green light at this point either.
Yeah,
correct.
I'm just being reserved.
To me, it doesn't even sound like they have their plans finalized.
Yeah,
right.
So we've gotten burned. So go ahead. Sorry, Chad. What were you gonna say?
I don't even think their plans are finalized from reading the article yet. It's still in a state of flux, and they're still proposing things.
Well, it kind of seems like from the last concept art we saw, like it seemed like it was just a regular tower the last time we saw concept art. Now they're really kind of refining this and making it that step tower. I don't think that was in the last concept. I think they've really refined it now to have this look to it that can blend in a little bit better. That's kind of what it seemed like to me. I don't know.
Yeah, the last concept art that we saw was from the perspective of inside the Disneyland Hotel courtyard, because this tower will be the fourth one in the square, or rectangle, so to speak. And it was from the inside of the rectangle looking at it. And then the
Yes.
step down part is on the back side of that. So it could have been there before. We just didn't see it. Now we just have a little bit more details. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true. From the front side, yeah, you won't notice the difference, but I think, kind of like what you were saying, Tom, they're trying to make sure that the backside, even though they want it to be a larger space because it is going to be DVC, because if you look at those towers, they're not, the Disneyland hotel towers are not really that big. Yeah, I mean, in terms
They're
of
a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I see where they're basically just trying to squeeze in as much, as many hotel spaces as they can into this area, which, yeah, obviously is, they can move it out further on the back, but they want to make sure that it's not just a giant block there because people will say, what the heck is this?
Yeah, and it looks like based on these plans too that they're going to have the Grand Villas are obviously going to face out toward the theme park, so the Grand Villas are going to have a theme park view, and then also some 2 bedrooms are going to have it, and some studios as well from what they're showing on here. So I mean that's what I would expect, that they'd have a theme park view for those. Makes sense, right? And it's interesting too because they're going to have those tower studios too that are in the Riviera that I think are a cool idea, and I would have loved if, when I was kidless, would have been great, but now I wouldn't use that, but I know it's great for a lot of couples, so that's a cool thing that they're putting in there too. So, but it sounds like, I know Chad and Trevor, you guys are probably both really interested in this hotel once it happens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I definitely am. I would make Disneyland my home park if I could deal with the airfare to get from Detroit to LA. And I love my Grand Cal contracts. Love them, love them, love them. We can only go every other year just simply due to the expense of getting 5 people out to LA and back. Plus your annual passes don't work and everything else. So it's an expensive proposition. But that being said and done, I'm looking forward to this thing coming online.
Yeah. The funny thing is for us, it's the cost to get a Grand Cal contract. It was cheaper for us to get a Poly contract. Even factoring in, the travel from where we are to Florida and everything. But if this place comes in at, cheaper points for this new one, that'll definitely swing it the other way for us where, yeah, staying at Disneyland would actually be cheaper.
Well, that's closer for you too. It's so much closer for you.
Yeah, it's like a 2-hour flight versus a 5-hour flight.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And if you get their Flex annual passes that they have there, that's what we would be looking at doing. The kind where you have to come back in and reserve a day ahead of time in order to be able to get into the parks.
Yeah. They have a bunch of different tiers there that they don't have in Florida.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot different when it comes to that, and obviously a lot more of the clientele in Disneyland is annual pass holders as opposed to just tourists in general. So it's definitely a whole different ballgame over there. But I think this looks really interesting, and hopefully these kinds of things, these kinds of designs and stuff are going to make the Anaheim council there be a little bit more willing to approve this. And it seems like they've been a little less combative lately than they have been in the past. So Disney, I believe, is not asking for tax incentives this time around. Although who knows? Maybe that'll change. So hopefully that means we'll be in good shape. Maybe they'll approve it this time. We'll see.
Yeah, well, most local governments now are kind of revenue starved. So doing something to promote more business right now is kind of favorable for local governments to get that tax coming in.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. So I wanted to talk. We actually got this question as something to talk about on the episode, and I don't know if Damon will wake up for this one, but Damon probably doesn't care about leadership shakeup, or maybe he does. I don't know. I could be wrong. But we have there was a whole lot of
the stupidest bit of information. Who cares?
It's not stupid, though. It's important.
But
I'm going to change that perspective, Damon.
You can't, because I don't care. Like there's no reason that I would care who this leadership team is. I just don't.
Well, no, it is important because it seemed to be that and I swear I'm gonna butcher his name. Is it Josh D'Amaro? Did I say that right, or D'Amaro? I forget which one it is.
I want to say DeMaro, but I could be wrong.
Yes. So
I'm just keeping it simple, Josh.
Yeah, let's say Josh. He was the president of Disney World briefly, and in his brief time, he was trying to improve the bus service. From what I had read, the cast members really seemed to love him. He was also doing some things for cast member morale. There was a lot of things that he was doing that were really positive. So him being named the chairman of Disney Parks Experience and Products, I think is a huge deal because he's well respected. He's known for being very cast member friendly and also doing a lot of things for guest satisfaction too. No, it's a good thing.
So
go ahead, Chad.
I get
try
the
to
cast
them now.
Well, no, I get that the cast people love him because the cast members that I know were just ecstatic about him coming back in. But he's also the guy who brought us this lottery system for Rise of the Resistance. Okay. And you're talking about his former role was the head of Disneyland. And if he starts bringing the Disneyland type mentality into the world, Damon, that's where I think it could rattle your cage a little bit, because everything that we love about the world, it's just two different deals. Yes, it's all Disney, but land and world is a different deal. And I hope we don't start getting those max passes in at Disneyland or Disney World that are pay to play.
Why?
Like
That would be awesome.
Damon wants that. He's
that.
been asking for that forever.
Yeah.
So he could be your man then. Okay.
And I like the virtual queue thing. I thought the virtual queue was great. I
don't necessarily love
idea.
the virtual queue either. I'm adaptive to whatever's in front of me. So I don't care, right? Like, okay, there's a lottery system for Rise of Resistance. Do I love it? No, but it is what it is. So I deal with it. Max Pass comes, I'm buying it, right? If it doesn't, I'm not. I just don't care about that sort of stuff. You know, Disney's always going to be Disney, and whatever exists for, Disney is what I enjoy, what's in front of me. That's just me, man. You know how it is.
That's fair. I guess that's fair. I guess not everybody cares about like the internal business of these things. I guess, who's in charge does have an impact on your park experience.
Of course,
it
has an impact on the park experience. Doesn't have an impact on my park experience. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Not like
fair. I get
and not necessarily in a, would I like certain things over other things? That's not what I'm saying. It's just there's going to be a park experience, and that's what I'm going to do. And if that park experience changes because on who's behind the scenes, then it changes and I adapt, and that's how we enjoy the park. I mean, there's things, right? If I had my druthers, Ellen would still be there. Ellen would have been updated to some crazy Navi River ride animatronics, right? And we would have been good.
Yeah.
Alas, it is not, and I deal with that.
So Chad, you view this as a negative. See, I was viewing it as a positive. I thought it was going to be a good. I think it's a good move.
I think it could be. And I have faith in the cast member people I know that are just ecstatic, happy about it. I'm just still bitter over the Rise deal. Okay.
You don't like the virtual queue? You had a problem with that?
I don't like the lottery system because keep in mind, Tom, I paid cash to stay at Riviera in January.
Yeah.
Okay. $1,500 for 2 nights. And I'm laying out that kind of money, and you can't even tell me you're going to get me to the park on time using Disney transportation. I had to Uber into it. Okay. And they're telling you, Chad, if you want to be here, you pretty much need to Uber over there because Disney transportation isn't going to get you in time to get a Rise, even to get you a lottery ticket. And that just left such a bad taste in my mouth that I'm a little, I got to get over that.
I get it. I never thought the virtual queue was going to be a permanent thing. I always felt that it was a necessary evil in the beginning because of how much it was going to break down and how popular it was going to be and the demand and eventually they were going to move to a regular
I think we're going to see an awful lot more of it.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. And the reopening, well, yeah, but this is, I didn't expect it to happen in general, but because of what's going on now, I would expect it to see more virtual queues. Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that. I mean, Universal's doing the same thing. They're all virtual queues, essentially. So for the popular rides anyway. So I get what you're saying. I understand, but for me, I felt like they had to do it as a practical thing. I couldn't imagine people waiting 10 hours in line and then it breaking down 4 times a day. And I feel like that's a worse experience, but I get what you're saying. I get you. So we don't have to go through all these, but there were some interesting things I thought in here, but I personally think it's a positive. I think it's going to be helpful And I think it's going to be. I think he's a passionate guy about the parks, and he seems like a really positive influence. And a lot of people hated Bob Chapek, so I think this is somebody that everybody seems to like. So we'll see what shakes out here, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty much with you there. We'll see. I mean, I got to get over that. I'm just being honest.
He doesn't seem like the crazy budget guy that Chapek was, right? Like, because a lot of the things that he was doing for the cast members weren't exactly, budget friendly. He was spending some money, it seemed like. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
And he was also apparently focusing on Disney transportation too, and trying to make it better. And I think we all would like to see that, right? So
absolutely. And the fact that we've got a former DVC executive over in charge of Disneyland now, that can only improve things for us, because at Disneyland you don't get your 20% discount. It's like 10. Okay, it's
so
not
maybe
even
there'll be more of a focus on DVC over there now, you think?
Yeah, maybe there'll be a little bit more love to DVC members. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. Mention that the former he was, oh gosh, what was his role? He was above. Oh gosh, and now I lost the place on my page. What was that person's name? I forget. President of Disneyland. Oh, it's Ken Potrock. Yes.
I was going to say, I was. There isn't that many names on this page. I don't know how you got lost, but
you know what, Trevor, I just got lost. I scrolled too far, and then there was a problem. So, all right, whatever. All right. I don't want to hear about it. Let's move on to Disney Springs reopening. Let's talk about that. I know, Damon, that's something you definitely want to talk about, right? So,
sure, I guess.
I thought you said you wanted to talk about this.
I want to talk about this. Of course, I do. I don't know how I feel anymore. My emotions have gone up and down. As we've started to get out of the house a little bit in North Carolina, we've been to some soccer fields, and again, still social distancing and all that good stuff, but it felt different to get out. Like, it felt nice. So I don't know. Maybe I'm softening my stance on, what our November trip will look like for Disney, but them opening Disney Springs, I guess, is a good thing. I just don't know how you eat like that. Like, I'm going to be masked up the whole time I'm anywhere. I mean,
well, you certainly can't eat with the
obviously,
mask on.
Obviously, Tom.
You pull it and you drop the food in the mask, and no.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I think walking around would be fine, but I don't know about this eating thing while I'm there.
No, I mean, I get it. I mean, I think it's a great first step in opening the entire park, right? And I think they've been really testing things out in Shanghai, how things are going in Shanghai, and a lot of those learnings are going to probably be applied to Disney World and Disneyland when they reopen. And then, of course, with Disney Springs, a lot of those things are also going to be there. Now, I did see a lot of pictures. I was actually surprised at how not busy it was on the day that it opened. It didn't seem like it was that busy from a lot of the pictures I saw. Now, maybe yeah.
Why are you surprised? I mean,
I just thought people would want to get out and go there. I'm just surprised by that. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a subset of people that are just hankering to get out to anywhere. But I guess Disney Springs isn't Magic Kingdom.
That's a good point, Trevor.
Yeah, sorry, but it's a mall.
Yeah.
But it's still Disney, and it's still that feeling. Okay, you can still look across the lake and see Saratoga, which is a DVC home resort. You can still look at the aerofoil balloon deal. Okay, and it's still Disney though. So I watched a couple of live streams. They weren't live when I watched them, but it was moderately busy.
Yeah. It seemed like it slowed down towards the end of the day. I'd seen in the morning it seemed a little bit busier, and then as it got longer through the day, it seemed a little bit slower. But yeah, I mean, some people did show up. Now, I mean, I fully expect the same thing to happen for Disney World if they're going to be taking reservations and doing what they did for Shanghai. Shanghai sold out really quickly, right? I assume the same thing's going to happen at the parks, but I don't really know. I don't think anybody really knows. But yeah, we'll have to see. But it with Universal now setting an opening date of June 5th, I would think that Disney's going to be. I'm not surprised. I think Disney's not going to be far behind, but Disney's a lot more complicated than Universal is, right? I mean, it's much bigger property, more resorts, more transportation,
and I think they're going to be more cautious.
Yeah, they're going to be way
absolutely
more cautious.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they're a brand name of family safety, right?
I don't know. You broke up a little
what were
bit
you
for
saying,
me.
Chad?
Yeah.
What were you saying, Chad?
I said these guys are the brand name of family safety. Okay. Safe, secure family is a Disney deal. It's part of their DNA and their brand. So I could see them really not being first to market here.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I was a little bit surprised at the opening date for Universal, to be honest with you. I didn't think it would be that early. And the fact that they're opening Volcano Bay, again, to me is I just don't know how you pull that off if with masks and water, and I don't understand, I guess. I truly just don't understand that portion of it.
I guess my only thought on that is that it's, the one difference I'll say is that's chemically treated water versus,
and Trevor,
going to the beach.
Yep, and I get that, but how do you get between rides? Like, are you?
Yeah.
You bust out the scuba gear for Volcano Bay.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't
True.
understand the mask situation, how it's going to work there. Are you getting online and then right when you get up to the top of the water slide, whipping your mask off, putting it in a waterproof container, sliding down the slide, putting it back on? I mean, that's what I'm asking.
I actually think that Universal is kind of screwing this up already. I'm not going to lie. When I read that they're saying that they're not going to require reservations to visit and guests might be turned away at the gate, that sounds like the worst thing they could possibly do. All right? I mean, how many people are going to show up and then get turned away? Like, why wouldn't you require some sort of reservation ahead of time? Like, that's nuts to me. I don't know.
I don't think there will be enough people showing up for them to worry about that.
You don't think so?
I agree with Trevor. Because you can't, if you're outside of the continent, you're not getting there, right? Just because they're open, travel's still interesting. So,
but at such a low capacity, I mean, look at Shanghai. Shanghai sold out in minutes.
But that's
they were low capacity,
mainland China,
but,
though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know, Trevor. I feel like I'm on kind of on your side. I don't necessarily think there's going to be, this huge line, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
sorry, Trevor.
I guess that's the bigger thing is like what you're saying, Damon, is just because they're opening doesn't mean that there's a lineup of people standing there. I know that, we're all on Facebook and we're all, so many people are like, oh God, I can't wait for this to be over. I'm going to be back there so quick. The reality is that people are apprehensive about it. They don't want to be the first one in the gate.
And there's a lot more than just that. So there's the apprehension. There's the travel, there's the money, and there's the hotels. There's a lot of things that are kind of have to, you have to be willing for a lot of those things. So again, my wife traveled for work. Okay. But the one thing she said is that she had to go out and come back the same day because she said she was not staying at a hotel. She said, I'll travel, but I'm not staying in a hotel. So even somebody like her, who's totally opposite of me, where she's more willing to go out there and she was like, no, I was fine. I wore a mask. I was good. Like even she wouldn't do this at this point because of the hotel situation. So you have to have, all of these things together that you're comfortable with to make sure that you're willing to go. And then on top of that, for Volcano Bay, I guess you have to have some waterproof Aquaman mask to go as well. I'm still so intrigued and
have scuba gear, will travel, right?
Like I'm still so intrigued by how that's going to work. I mean, how are you getting on this mask in between rides on a wet face? I did happen to see neoprene masks recently, though. I mean, maybe they're going to do something like that. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't get that.
I just tend to think there's some pent up demand there, and then especially with Disney not opening yet, I think a lot of the people in Florida, especially, will a lot of them have passes for both parks.
But I think that if you take out all the other people, so all you're saying, Tom, is the people that are local enough are going to go, right? So there's this.
No, sure. You're taking out all the international travelers. You're taking out all of the domestic travelers. Mm-hmm. Even you're pretty much leaving it to people that are within a couple
that drive.
What's that?
There's a lot of people that are willing to drive.
Okay, so all these people that are willing to drive, I still think that subset is pretty small in terms of park capacity. I could be wrong. I don't know.
And it's limited to
man,
like day trip kind of thing.
We're so locked down here in Michigan. We're talking about making a run to the border, and I'm not talking Mexico. I'm just talking Ohio, to where we can go get a haircut or sit down at a restaurant or get some.
And North Carolina is open. We're phase 2. We're open. Go get a haircut if you want. Sit down at a restaurant. kids sports. What did Florida just open kids sports, right? I think so. I think Florida opened kids sports. So yeah, I still think that subset is still pretty small because again, you have to factor in money still.
No,
right?
True. Yeah, that's part of it.
So a lot of people are out of work. It's there's a lot going on there.
And it is a gamble, right? Like, like you're saying, all these things, having the money to do it but it's also, like you said, the risk of you get there, you may not be able to get in, you may not be able to get what you want. Are you really going to, a lot of people just aren't going to throw money at something like that right now.
Yeah. And I think that you're right. So again, like maybe you do have the same feeling as Tom and you're like, oh man, maybe I won't get in. You just don't go. I think that's what's going to happen. You just don't go.
Well, and by the way, I'm not saying I would go. I'm more saying that I see there being a pent up demand here, and I just think it's a bad idea not to have some sort of reservation system.
What's the percentage they're saying they're letting in anyway?
They're not. I don't think they're stating it yet.
Okay, so
I don't think that's out there. From what I've seen, I don't think that number's. But I mean, maybe 30% or 50% even. I don't know. Universal seems to be kind of barreling forward with this with some kind of sketcy plans.
Well, because they have that 30th anniversary on the 7th, as you stated here, right?
They do. Yeah, they do. They want to hit that 30th anniversary. But it does seem like I read their FAQs on their website, and a lot of it is still like details to come.
Yeah.
And that's a little concerning.
I don't know. I think I said that the water park is interesting. I don't know how that's happening. Outside of that, I think, it is what it is.
I think it'll be a good guinea pig, though. It'll be very good to just stand back and, not to say, throw, people just go and throw disregard to the wind, or throw caution to the wind. But, I just want to see how this all plays out. I don't know if I get what you guys are saying is, it seems too fast, but I don't know. I mean, I get the feeling they're going to open it and there's not going to be the amount of people there that we think. And it's going to be like another month of just nobody using the park.
I don't disagree with that too. It could happen. It could go either way. I wouldn't be surprised by either that there's nobody that shows up or that there's a lot of people that show up. I think somebody in Disney said that Disney can't even really make a profit at 50% occupancy. It has to be like basically over 50% occupancy. Then they could.
But you have to get to 50% before you can get to 75,
no,
right?
You're totally right.
Yeah.
You're 100%. Yeah. And that's, it's interesting because Disney kind of is a little bit leading on this by opening Shanghai. I did read a thing from Universal said that they were watching what was happening in Shanghai at Shanghai Disney as well to see how that went. And now it feels like Disney's going to see how things go for Universal. They're like, you guys take the lead on this one. We'll hang back and
Legoland. Don't you dare disrespect
Legoland.
Legoland.
Yeah.
Well,
don't disrespect Legoland. That's
also
that's funny.
Think about the timeline on this too. Like the Shanghai thing, like Shanghai's been closed a lot longer than any of the
They were closed
parks.
for 4 months,
yeah.
right?
So I guess if you're talking about the timeline from when all this started, Universal is really far ahead. And yeah, that's where you're saying it is. This might be a very stupid move on their part, but I still want to see how this goes.
Yeah, and I think Disney's really interested to see how it goes too, right? I mean, you're right. Shanghai is different, right? It's a whole different ball of wax, right? So, but it is, and I think Disney's very interested to see how it's going to go at Universal, and that could inform a lot of their decisions. I mean, if the gates do get rushed, if they do have 100,000 people that show up on opening day, Disney's going to take note of that and maybe make some changes to what they're doing or be affirmed in what they were already planning. I don't know.
Chad, would you go to Universal? June 7th. You going?
No. Nope. I have a trip booked for August 10th to go to Hilton Head and then...
Jam, I love me the Hilton Head.
Then
Wait, you have to
World for
report
2
back on our
days.
pirate ship that they just opened there.
Oh, I will. I'll be glad to. And so it's really the ultimate finish out DVC for me because it's Hilton Head 2 days at a value at Animal Kingdom, DCL cruise for 4 nights, and then Vero for 3 nights.
Cruise, really?
Yes.
And you're good with that?
That
He's not sure if
that
he's good
sums
with
it up right there.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I want to talk about the
Stay
NBA though. Can we talk about the NBA? I'm excited about this.
We can talk about the NBA.
I feel like I'm going to be the only one excited about this though.
Well,
I'm into it.
I'll go have a nap over here and let me know when you're done.
It's Trevor. This is Trevor's Disneyland for Damon. So this is
Dude, sports come back. They got to come back.
I think this is a neat idea, and the idea of, and this is confirmed, by the way, the NBA.
I talked about this a while ago, though, if you remember.
Yeah, because this has been an idea for a while. So apparently the NBA and Disney World are in talks to finish out the NBA season at Disney World, at ESPN World of Sports, Y World of Sports, I should say, and basically doing like a contained bubble there. So using lodging within Disney, which they haven't really commented, although I think I heard that they were looking at Coronado. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's an interesting idea. It's kind of cool. I don't know. What did you think, Damon? It sounded like you wanted to talk about it.
No, I think I like it. I mean, I think it's a great way to kind of get sports back by containing everything. I mean, the UFC has, tried to get sports back up and running. I think in Germany, they're actually playing soccer now as well. So I'm all for doing something that's going to be safe, that has the facilities, as long as the, NBA players are on board with it. So I think this would be really cool. I kind of wish that it was something that happened, outside of a pandemic, that I could have gone and seen some of these games. That would have been even better. But
that would have been
yeah, I mean, I think it's a great idea. And I know that people are complaining because they think that they're going to take away all the rooms. NBA is not that big. Again, don't get crazy. Disney's huge.
There's really not that many players.
Yes.
They're not going to take up like 10 hotels.
No. And even if they take, well, they're obviously going to take all their staff members and things like that. It's still an insignificant amount of hotel lodgings at this point.
Well, especially if we're talking about reduced capacity, right? If we're talking about not that many people showing up to Disney World, then what does it really matter if they're taking up a hotel?
Mm-hmm.
They can have all of Coronado as far as
I would agree with you.
Oh man, I heard. I've heard it's not that bad now. No,
not for me.
I stayed there once before the tower was opened, and
everyone's saying the tower is great.
I've been to the tower. Okay, I haven't stayed in the tower, but other than that, the resort is spread out, and the buses are old Key West, Saratoga era. No thanks.
And if you're staying at Coronado,
I thought Trevor was sleeping. What happened, Trevor?
Well, no, you're talking about Coronado. You're not talking to NBA. When you go back to
Trevor
NBA,
can connect to it from Coronado. Is he?
Yeah, you might as well just stay at Riviera if you're going to stay at Coronado. So
there you go.
No, because you get Skyliner at Riviera. Oh, yeah. Skyliner rules.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying is that, yeah, Coronado, they can take it all they want.
It kills me there's still people that are negative on the Skyliner. Skyliner's the best.
Oh, move over monorail. There's a new king of Disney transportation.
I know. It's just the best. I don't understand why people are still down on it. But anyway,
social distancing,
it's
it's everything. So
I get it. I get it. What did you say, Chad?
It's social distancing friendly. Your family gets their own little contained unit. It's awesome.
But if you're scared of heights, then it's a problem.
I get it. It doesn't even go that high, though.
Listen, I had the people that we go with who she goes on roller coasters and stuff, and she was a little, I don't know.
You know what? Until you come up to Banff, Canada, and ride one of the gondolas up the side of a mountain, that thing is nothing. Like,
that's true. All right. Well, I think that's a cool idea. I would be in favor of it. I don't think it's going to take rooms away from people. I don't think that's. I think that's people overreacting on Facebook groups. I don't think that's a big deal. But I think it's a neat idea, and I think it makes a lot of sense. I'm sure that Disney would probably make some pretty good money from the NBA off of this, but they're already partners with the NBA through ESPN. So, and of course, they have a vested interest in sports starting up again too, because ESPN needs some live sports, right? So I think it's a great idea. I don't see anything bad to it. I think it makes a lot of sense. So
there's only so much NFL players streaming Xbox we can watch. I mean,
100%.
Yeah, that's been tough, hasn't it? Like I thought I could. Like, listen, I love video games. I love the NFL. I can't do it. The only sports that have been going on for me that I still would watch would be esports. I've been still watching esports. The League of Legends games have still been pretty good for me, but that's about it. And again, now that German soccer is back, my son's been watching that. So
there you go.
Yep.
You see, I'm more of an Evo fan. If you like like Street Fighter and stuff like that.
Yeah, esports is all League of Legends for me. So
you see, now you guys are speaking a language I don't understand.
Exactly.
So we're
That's how I feel about NBA and stuff like that.
fair enough. Well, and just a note too, like the NBA is, I mean, how far along were they in the season? They don't have that many games left.
no, and there's all different thoughts on whether they'll go right to a playoff schedule, well, whether that will be a shortened playoff schedule. Like, I think that part of it's still up in the air.
Well, I think there was even talk of just like a tournament.
Yeah.
Which would kind of be cool in a way, I think. But it is the idea of putting all of these teams in one place is
Well, they tried to do like this online horse games as well, but technology kind of beat them up on that. Like, some people's streaming was pretty brutal. You know, we always forget what streaming looks like across the country. It was interesting as we, kind of talked about this new podcast that I was working on. There was somebody that I really wanted to do it with us, and she lives in rural Texas, and she's like, I can't. She's like, I can't even stream Netflix.
dial up.
Yeah. Well, DSL is what we're really talking about.
DSL. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that's brutal.
Yeah. Even in some parts of North Carolina, in our area here, people are still on 3 megabit DSL. I mean, you can't do anything with that.
You really can't.
No.
No. Yeah. Wow. That would be tough. I get it. Makes total sense. All right. Well, you guys want to talk about this patent? Wrap it up with something kind of fun and interesting. I don't know if anybody's interested about this besides me, but I think it's kind of cool.
Well, let us know about it first, Tom, and I'll tell you if I'm interested.
Yeah, I've read this like 3 times, and I don't think I fully understand it. So if you could
Me neither,
summarize.
Trevor.
I was going to say, I tried.
I listen, I don't know what they would use this for, but the basically what this is, it's a system that deciphers an individual guest preference using some sort of scannable apparel or accessory. So imagine somebody wearing a shirt that had some sort of image on it, or wearing something on them that has some sort of image on it, and this system would be able to determine a guest's preference for something by scanning that image. Now, I guess my question about this is, what if it's just like okay, you're wearing a Rebel Star Wars shirt, and now they know that you prefer Rebels.
Okay.
And then they do something with that.
That's cool.
I don't know,
That would be
customized
awesome.
experience in Star Wars later.
Sure.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I think that's what they're trying to say here, right? Am I missing that?
To me, it just has this Big Brother collect all kinds of data
I love
about
that.
me level of.
I want you to collect as much data on me as you can if it makes my life easier and I can be lazier.
Again, this is the IT guy talking. This is cool. Like the idea of, if they can, use image recognition on a shirt and tailor your experience to, they use like the Incredibles as an example here.
I'm so upset Trevor hasn't watched The Hollow yet. Will you please, by the time next episode comes around, please watch that?
I will sit down and
It sounds like it's something that you're going to just love so much based on what you're just talking about right now.
Yeah. So, okay. So I'll check that out. But yeah, this sounds like, that they can tailor your experience all around, the type of shirt that you're wearing. I guess it's kind of next level of, when somebody actually this happened with my kid, is that, he was wearing a Gravity Falls shirt, and one of the cast members made some references to Bill Cipher when we were talking to him in Magic Kingdom. And my son really got a kick out of that. And so if the next level of this is, the rides and things actually start making references based on your preferences, that can definitely bring the whole experience up another level.
So Chad, you're against Big Brother, but you still go to Disney. Like true people that are against Big Brother don't even go to Disney. You can't, or do you make them not let you fingerprint scan in? Do you make them take a picture of you?
No, I do the fingerprint scan. So I'm not a fan of the whole Magic Band deal and them tracking you like a lab rat. And to me, it's like they're going to take the Magic Band technology, track it, pictures, all kinds of stuff.
And do what?
It's just like really, really weird. Okay. Well, it freaks me out when I'm having a conversation with somebody on my cell phone, and because I have Facebook Messenger's microphone turned on, next thing you know, I see a Facebook Messenger on my phone for just what I got done talking about.
Yeah, but
that creeps me out.
You have the ability to turn that off, though.
Yeah.
You have to turn off the whole mic for Facebook Messenger. Okay. But that's kind of a pain when you're talking with people all day long. Okay.
I guess I would say, as far as companies that do data gathering on us, Disney is probably the least intrusive at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I look at it as they have all this information on us already. I mean, they already probably know what my favorite character is just based on the profile picture that I make on My Disney Experience. And, you know, I don't believe that they keep your fingerprints. I know that it turns into like a data point and all that stuff. And it's not necessarily they have a picture of your fingerprint on, you know, there. But I mean, they have pictures of you. They've got all kinds of stuff. I mean, I get what you're saying, Chad. I understand the privacy angle totally. I 100% understand that. I guess in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I'm going to Disney and they got all this info on me anyway. So what else am I going to do? Well, you know, they're already taking pictures of me anyway. They're already looking at me on security cameras. This is just them scanning my shirt. And then, you know, maybe they know that I like Iron Man. And then when I'm on a Marvel ride and they, you know, make me into Iron Man or something, you know, I like that personalization stuff, I guess.
It's little things, okay? So here's an example of how we think they personalized it. We don't know for sure, but when you check in at Riviera or Coronado, the new TV systems, they have enough data on you that the suggested TV programs are stuff that they think you're going to like or things that you've liked in the past, okay? To me, that's kind of cool, but you can take kind of cool and get into creepy really fast, and that's where I'm at with that.
That's how I find new Netflix shows, though. I like that. Again, I'm all for lazy. Like, I'm so lazy that if you just want to find everything out and then push stuff, right, like to me because you think I'll like it, it just saves me having to look for it. I'm good with that. I'm okay. That's me, though.
So how would you like to see this used, though? I mean, do you think this is for a specific purpose?
You know what? I would
would
like to see it used in kind of different than ride stuff, right? What I would like to see, and again, this would be great for kids. Think about this for a second. So you're going up to a food counter and your plate now has your kid's favorite character based on a scan of their shirt when they entered the park. That's cool. Right? That sort of stuff would be cool for me.
That's magic, right? That's magic. Yeah.
Like, it always gets a kick out of those, the rock and roller coaster and your name's up there or Everest or stuff like that. Kids dig that. So if it was used in that way, I think that would be pretty awesome. And you know what, Chad? I mean, they could use it so minimally to make, people feel better. Like, they could do it in, a specific ride or, at a restaurant or something like that where maybe it wasn't used all over the place and, data mined to death, to make your life miserable. I don't know.
I get it.
It sounds cool.
I get it.
But I get what you're saying, though. I totally do. I mean, that's not how I think, but I totally understand your viewpoint.
I would point this out is that the description here specifically talks about permission to use the recognition. So
you have to give permission to do it.
Yeah, it says multiple times about opting into it. So I guess that's the other side of it too, is that you do have a choice. Like it's not like it's just thrust upon you that we're doing this now. They are giving you the choice to say, yeah, don't do that with me.
Here's the way this thing starts off, Trevor. It's opt in today, and then tomorrow it's like, oh, you want to use MDE to book a fast pass? Well, it's baked into the fine print. So that's kind of how I see this stuff going. That it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, you can opt out, but you're gonna opt out of using fast passes.
Well, fair. That will be a different discussion at that point, though.
Yeah, if they're forcing people into it, yeah, because that would be forcing them into it, right? So. No, I get what your point. And you could also argue, too, that they're going to put it at some point where it's like, it's not going to be like, do you want to opt into personalized things based on images that we can read off your shirt? It's going to be make your, vacation more magical through our personalization services, our automatic personalization. It's not going to sound like it's what it is, right? But I like I said, I get your point too, Chad. I understand the privacy angle about it. I just, in my mind, I'm already getting my picture taken by them, 100 times a trip, and I guess I just don't care anymore about it. But I get what you're saying, Chad. Trevor, were you going to say something else? I'm sorry.
No.
Well, guys, let's wrap this thing up. It's getting late in the day here. I think it's time to go ahead and wrap everything up. Anything else that you guys want to talk about or bring up before we adjourn today?
What did you get really good at doing being home for 2 months?
Oh man, nothing. Certainly not better at doing this podcast. Maybe better at doing the video. I think we got better at doing those live shows. I think we did better at that.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I got better at anything though. That's a good question. Do you have something, Damon?
No, I just was. I mean, I wish that was the case. I don't think I got necessary. Well, you know what? I have gotten a lot more exercise in these past 2 months than I probably did previously. Now I was out with a nerve damage in my neck, but besides that, I mean, I've definitely gotten better at, I've gotten better at soccer. I will say that after trying to help my, high school soccer player practice good social distancing, I've been the one that's been roped into playing soccer on the soccer fields, and I've gotten better at soccer. How's that?
Fair enough.
Chad?
What about you, Chad?
Oh, man. I got better at fixing my garage door opener. Right at the beginning of this, the garage door died, and it took me 2 months to get it fixed.
Okay.
Because I didn't really care. But like literally right before this, I got the garage door opener, and so I got a little bit better at that. And then my kids sat there laughing at me because we were programming the openers. We have a 3-car garage with 3 doors. And somehow I did something so that when I hit one button, one door would go up and the other one would go down. And it was quite humorous to sit there and watch me doing this. So,
Okay.
Anything for you, Trevor?
I got better at juggling sticks.
Oh man, I'm terrible at that.
Well, so
Wait, devil sticks? Is that what
yeah, devil sticks. Yeah. So I have a pair that I actually bought in the China Pavilion in Epcot.
Look at him bringing it back to Disney. Look at Trevor.
Well, yeah.
Trevor's a pro, man. This is what we were missing.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is that when I've been on meetings and stuff, I have them sitting in the room, so I've been practicing them as I've been like on meetings at work and stuff. And yeah, I guess I actually have. I used them years ago, but I have gotten better over the last couple of months.
Nice. That's an appreciably that's a skill. You've gotten better at that.
I don't know what I'll do with it, but it's fun.
I'm not sure of any practical applications of that, but it's still something.
I wish I could say something like, "Well, I learned a foreign language," but yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't think I did anything. I don't know. Well, okay, so let's, Trevor, you want to wrap us up? And we'll, Chad, before we go here, actually, before we wrap up, Chad, do you want to plug anything from your podcast or for any your app or anything else?
Well, yeah, it's just search for My DVC Points, and whether you're on Apple App Store or Google Play, you can find it there. You can find me at mydvcpoints.com. and pretty much all things there. And then if you want to play trivia with us, that's done on a platform on Facebook called Mouse Quiz. MOUSEQUIZ. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks, Chad. We appreciate it.
If Chad gets a double plug, I get to double plug too.
You can plug again. This is your show, man. This is you plug as much as you want.
Come listen to my Netflix podcast, Boomtron podcast. You can search for it on iTunes. I don't know, maybe. The thing is, the problem is if I want to put a web page up, that means I have to do the Welcome Home web page and this one because that would be disrespectful. Yeah. So,
well, if you made the Boomtron one
like super awesome, that would be disrespectful. That would be bad. Yeah, I would never. It's never do such a thing.
BOOMTRON, right?
BOOMTRON. Yes, podcast.com. Come check us out, and please, like I said, let me know what's bad about it. I'm trying to work on it. I can take criticism, not from people that don't listen to what I actually say and then try to criticize me, but those are Chad's people.
Damon wants. Oh my gosh! Ooh, shots fired.
Chad, I'm so worked up about that one. Like the other one was the guy was just like, well, all you guys did was just chit chat. Well, yeah, really? There's nothing going on in Disney. What do you expect us to do? But the other guy was just like, he doesn't care about Disney and doesn't care if he loses points and doesn't care if anyone else loses points. It's like, no, I don't care if I lose points. I truly, honest to goodness, don't. But did I say I don't care if anyone else loses points? No, because I'm not everybody else. I just said for me personally, I could care less if I lose points. There. We're going to reiterate that again. This guy's never going to listen ever again.
He's done. He's man, that's amazing. So Damon wants the negative ones on this podcast.
I do.
Give him the negative.
Not on iTunes though. I want them in email.
No, email them. Yeah, we don't want to mess up the YouTube rating. I mean the iTunes rating. So yeah, email them to him. Email. Okay. You guys have a Facebook page too, right? Or no?
We do. There's only like 11 people like it though. So like I'm kind of got hurt feelings over there. So it's a Boomtron podcast as well. You can find it and like it and kind of, get me past 11 people. It does hurt my feelings every time I look at it.
Let's shoot for 15.
I'm giving away pins. At 15, I'm giving away welcome home pins. See, hold on. Here's the thing. This is where I may use my pins to my advantage.
Oh, no. Oh, wait. I gave you a supply, too. I can't even tell you no.
No, you can't even tell me no. If you like the Boomtron podcast, I may send you a pin. How's that?
Wow. There you go. Okay. Well, Trevor, wrap us up before Damon starts giving away other things.
Yeah, I'm not giving away hats, though. I only have like 2 or 3 of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's at like 30 subs, so.
There you go.
No, yeah, sorry, it's been a while. Let's try.
You're probably rusty.
Yeah, I'm a little rusty at this. So, if you guys want to get a hold of us, we are at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We love your questions. We love comments. We love just hearing from you guys. If you don't want to send us an email, if you want to hit us up on Facebook, you can find us at Welcome Home Podcast on Facebook. If you have other platforms like Twitter and Instagram, Twitter is Welcome Home Pod, Instagram is Welcome Home Pics. Those mirror our Facebook page, so you can get updates on stuff that we post from there. If you want to check out the website, Damon's awesome website, it's welcomehomepodcast.com.
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it is.
You made it better. It looks better.
Yeah, it's definitely improved over the years. So check that out. And we also have a YouTube channel now, which you can search us up as Welcome Home Podcast, and our live shows have been getting put up there. So if you want to go back and watch those and not just listen to them, you can do that.
Wait, Trevor, now that you're back, are we going to do the live dress up show?
I'm down.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah, we got to do the dress up show. Yeah.
Chad, are you going to come and dress up too? Oh, I'm only doing if Chad comes.
Man, you got an exercise during COVID, and I don't think I could fit in any of my old costumes, buddy. It's not.
I don't care.
Okay.
So Chad got better at eating over the quarantine. That's funny. Yeah. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, by the way. We are super close to 100, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but we just started this thing and have almost no content on there. So we appreciate everyone that's subscribed, but please get us to 100.
And we'll try to put more content up there for you guys to subscribe to.
If we have 100, does that mean we get our name?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why.
That means I can change it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He's going to change it to something we don't like, though.
No, it's just going to be Welcome Home Podcast. It's going to be easy.
Okay.
All right. And then last thing to mention, if you guys are looking for some merchandise, you can check out store.welcomehomepodcast.com. We have cool stuff on there like mugs and t-shirts and stuff. And, if you want to update your wardrobe after everyone comes out of quarantine, it's a good place to do it.
I like my shirts. I took them with me because now that I can't get into my room because it's quarantined, I had to take certain shirts, and I took a Boomtron podcast shirt.
You have a Boomtron podcast shirt already?
Not Boomtron. What show am I on? What show am I on?
You're talking about the wrong podcast.
The Welcome Home one. The Welcome Home one.
Trevor, on the last show, he forgot the name of our
I just did again.
Wow.
Wait, did I did forget, didn't I?
You did.
I have too much going on.
Yeah, I understand.
It's all right. It's just crazy for everyone right now.
We do have the best pins, though. We have the best pins.
We do.
Those pins are amazing.
Trevor, now that you finally got them.
You have some killer pins.
Yeah, wait, did we send one to Chad?
I did. I sent one to Chad.
Gosh, thank goodness. So,
what'd you think of it, Chad? What'd you say?
Oh, they're killer pins. I mean, they are. And Damon, just so you know, it's staying in the package.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
When there's a Welcome Home listener meetup, I'm there, and I'm going to have like a Ziploc bag duct taped to my deal.
That's what I appreciate.
With the pin in the package.
I appreciate
right? Just out of Damon. Out of respect for Damon.
So Chad, it is rather funny because my whole family makes fun of me. I often buy 2 of everything. Like if I like something, I just purchase 2. It makes it very easy for me. Like in terms of anything, like I have sneakers that like my kids were like, why do you have Air Jordan sneakers from when you were young? Oh, because I bought 2. And I buy 2 of a lot of different things if I like them. So I'm just, that's my mentality. So yes, I have enough pins that I can have a few in the package and a few out of the package. But the pin themselves, like there's no value to them. No disrespect to our awesome podcast, but you know, the things that have value to them, how can you, like, I'm looking at my guy over there and he's still in his packaging. My Funko Pop.
Oh,
Good,
yeah.
Good job, Figment. Good job, Figment.
Yeah, your Figment, yeah.
I don't know, man. I've got a limited edition, inaugural edition Welcome Home podcast pin. It's going to be priceless.
We should have had a version for that. It should have been like V1. So we could say, you know, oh, you know what it is, Tom?
Should have etched numbers on.
No, Trevor, I got it.
Original minting.
For the next time, we change the color settings a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
See? There you go.
Those pins came out amazing. I'm not gonna lie, they came out so cool. When I got them, I was like a kid, like a little kid. I was like, "Oh my gosh, these are amazing!"
They're a little
like
heavy.
1,000 times cooler than I thought they could.
They're still a little heavy. I'm not gonna roll back on that. They're still a little heavy. I wouldn't necessarily put one on a hat. So we have a limited area that you can put them. Right? They're not hat. They're not t-shirt. They're more backpack pins at this point.
Yeah, I saw one of our listeners put theirs on a backpack, and then I saw Dan actually put his on his mask, on his face mask, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know how it didn't rip off his face. He must have.
You know what, Damon?
You know what? He was biting it from the inside. That's what it was.
I'm sitting here holding an original Copper Creek pin.
Okay.
You know, with like Mickey with the Copper Creek hat on that they gave away when they were selling that. You're lighter than the Mickey pin.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, the Welcome Home pin is lighter than some of the Disney pins that I have. So
is that a quality thing, though?
I was going to say, I guess you could say maybe it's not as good a quality.
No, I mean, no, in that, like, the pins are just, like, it is a smaller pin. I don't think it's as big as you think it is, Damon.
I mean, I have a fair number of them. But that being said, is that I don't think I could wear it on a polo shirt. And I think that's where it kind of...
Yeah.
I was kind of looking forward to that, but I get that Tom made the executive decision, which was the right one, Tom, to go 2 pins and a little bit bigger to make it look nicer. And again, it is the perfect backpack pin. I'm trying to think about where else I would put it.
Lanyard. So put it on a lanyard.
Lanyard.
Can I just point out that we completely derailed on wrapping up this podcast?
Yeah, we did. But we're having a great pin discussion. This is like the after party discussion.
Yeah.
This is for the people that listen past when you start doing the close.
Wait,
like it's not everybody.
So at this point, is the music still playing? Because we would normally have the music playing at this point.
It might
yeah,
be.
The music will be.
It might be.
I don't know how long the song is.
We need the extended loop today.
Yeah.
The music is a set amount, so the music's probably playing right now. Oh my gosh! All right, well, yeah, the pins are super cool.
Yeah. And please send us reviews on iTunes or any other service that you use, please.
Thank you. There you go, Trevor. Yes, we do appreciate those reviews that are constructive and not just mean to us for no reason.
They feel like they had their own reason, though.
Yeah, Chad, what'd you say?
Yeah, no kidding. Like, what is it with people and doing just like, they take the time out of their day to just like leave a snotty review. I don't get it.
I don't get it. Well, see, you don't, it doesn't even hurt you. What do you have, all 5s over there? I think your show is like all 5s, man. No, our guy got you, right? Didn't he get you with like a 3-er?
That's right. Yeah.
He caught you with
No, I got a 1. I got a 1 from somebody.
Wow.
So.
Oof. We work hard on this stuff, and it's hurtful when people just throw out a 2 and it's just like, you guys are terrible. It's like,
well, this is what was ironic about it. It was ripping on me for promoting resale in the middle of a Riviera review series. Okay. Like 6 shows in a row of Riviera owners. And I get ripped on for doing resale. It's like, yeah, think about that one, buddy.
I think that was our guy, Chad. I do.
We didn't send him out to hit you, Chad. Like, we're not, listen, we have a lot of crossover, but a lot of people like what you do better, and a lot of people like what we do better, and that's just the way it's going to be. Yeah. But there's no need to write snotty reviews on each one of our podcasts if you like one and not the other. It's not a war here. We're friends.
Yep. We're friends. We collaborate. I was just going, it's just a matter of time before I'm on their show again or they're on mine, or, it's the way things work.
Yeah. There's no need to fight each other, everyone. It's,
I mean, and let's come to trivia, because then we're fighting you.
That's true. Then we're fighting.
Oh yeah. So, yeah. The welcome homies, yes. Okay, have got to band up and take on the geeks and the Disney crushers. I'm just calling for
as long as Trevor can play and he's not exempt from it, then I think that we're good. I'm good if Trevor's leading our team. I'm A-okay with that.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure, but I'm okay with that.
No pressure. All right. Let's
you got to disclaim.
Yes, we're good. We're about to hit 2 hours. So don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify. Anywhere you can find podcasts, you can find us. Just search for Welcome Home and look for the one that says DVC and Disney. Of course, a reminder to our listeners, as always, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company, and as such, any and all opinions we express on the show are our own. So please contact a DVC representative, a Disney cast member, for more information about anything we talked about today. Huge thank you, as always, to DVC Resale Market for being our friends and our sponsors and our partners in this endeavor. We love those people, and they are just the best. So, of course, join us next time for more Disney parks discussion, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
We do a huddle when we hit a chair. How she can cuddle is no man's affair. I looked around from pole to pole, found her in a sugar bowl.